Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we've got an important one, a lot to cover here. So we've got a bunch of hypercharges being leaked, we've got free pizzas and show you guys how to get that, and then of course future update talk with ranks and other things. So a lot to cover. But if you guys missed out on my video last week, I did cover 5 of the new hypercharges, but there's been a new one that has been leaked yesterday. So I mean, can you really call it a leak? Well, Brawl Stars might have accidentally done this because I don't normally do this in Brawl Talk, right? They've shown the bow Hypercharge in Brawl Talk, which is kind of crazy. I don't think there's been ever a time where they've shown it, which will lead to another theory later on. So Bow's Hypercharge, I thought a good idea, which was shown by Pineapple brilliantly here, is with the Tripwire. It reminds me of Tripwire meta. If you remember, you go back years when Tripwire used to instantly explode. Bow was like the best brawler in the game. I remember in competitive he was very, very good. So this would definitely bring Bow back to the meta, and I just think the buffs overall would actually be really helpful for him. And next up we got Meg. So Meg, I've not seen any hypercharge concepts with her because she is a very unloved brawler, unpopular, and I've just not seen any interesting concepts, so I can't really bring any to fruition here. Again, my idea was maybe her super could just have different forms, so it could maybe like shoot rockets or something. I don't know, it just would make sense for Meg in my opinion. And then of course we have this promotion video that they tend to do. This is where the leaks normally come out of, when they do community events, or if you see this Pizza Planet event, you can see Chester 38 seconds. So we already saw last week there was a concept where all of the supers could be combined in one. That could be pretty cool. And then Lyle's, I'll leave a link to his Twitter in the description as well. But again, I see a lot of cool concepts from him, and he is a Chester main, so this could be a really cool one as well. Some really good effects going on. So Chester's next Jack in the Box triggers a rapid succession of 4 random supers, and the 5th one will combine all of them. I don't know maybe about the 5th one after that, but just maybe like rapid supers, you know, 1, 2, 3 supers, one after each other, could be pretty cool as well. And then we see literally 2 seconds later in this video, we see Mr. P with a hypercharge. So I've seen a few ideas. Could maybe just that he spawns 2 Mr. P porters, maybe just 2 porters spawn at the same one. That would literally have the same effect, but you get what I mean. Maybe the porters would have like more HP, and then the next one would have more damage, the next one would have poison, the next one would, I don't know, you know what I mean, longer range. That would be pretty cool, but I feel like that would probably be too much for Mr. P. We'll have to see, because the reason why I'm scared of Mr. P hypercharges, if you rewind back to the 2020 meta, Mr. P could counter everything because his porters just spawned so fast, they were so tanky. So that's why I'm scared of Mr. P meta. Hopefully it's not too strong. And then we had the Lola one with the hypercharge. So basically an artist who like showed off her really amazing work with Loopy Lola, and you see this hypercharge logo. So that's a brief recap, and now let's go on. Actually, quickly, Lyles did a hypercharge concept, which is funny enough pretty much what I wanted, to pretty much be the exact same as Lola, the same HP, the same damage, health, etc. But he actually added on one cool thing, which was a natural health regen. I don't know whether that would be too strong, to be honest, but that's a cool concept. Maybe they can add that as well, because Lola is really unpopular, so maybe a fun hypercharge would increase her popularity. We've seen that with Rico for sure. I mean, he was always like in the middle, but the hypercharge made him very, very fun and popular. So we see this animation here. I believe it has been deleted since, but it was, I think they edited it out of their main channel, because a lot of people pointed it out straight away in their promotion video, and then now it's only available through this unlisted short. So again, we go through to it, we see Mandy, and then we see this hypercharge logo. It is a bit more clearer here. Look, you can see the Mandy hypercharge, but I think it's evident that they didn't really mean to leak. I don't know how that actually happens, because again, they edited it out of the animation later on, and then they unlisted this video. It's just a little bit weird. So we've got some Mandy ideas already. So we've seen Pineapple literally a year ago with Mandy's hypercharge. This could be a really cool one. I don't know about the DPS, whether it adds up, because I feel like it would be a really hard super to control. I think it'd have to be like really slow, and it would be like, well, if you miss it to begin with, then it's really bad. But if you're like really accurate or get some good predictions, then it could be really good. So this could be really good, but also just rip the high safe. Literally, this would just destroy the high safe from across the map. Would be absolutely hilarious. And then of course Lyles came up with a pretty good concept as well. I think 3 bounces is too much, so personally I think maybe just 2 bounces. My idea was that it could just leave like a trail of fire, could just like it could just linger somehow, you know, it could be wider. I'm hoping it's not anything to do with the mutation though, just because the mutation was terrible. So, and you don't want it too broken though. You don't want like a really big Mandy super, or else it's just gonna destroy everyone, right? So we've got some also other theories as well. So my theory here here with the hypercharges, if we rewind back to the roadmap that they did a couple of months ago, they basically said with the June 2025 update, they want every brawler to have a hypercharge. So that made me think, well, there's 33 brawlers without a hypercharge right now if you include Ollie. And if you go by the video, there's basically going to be a February update, there's going to be an April update, and then we have the June update. So technically there'd only be an extra like 18 hypercharges if we're going by our current batch rate, and there's 33 brawlers without, so obviously math isn't mathing. They need to increase the amount of hypercharges they do every single update. So what I think they'll do is they'll probably at least add 12 hypercharges an update if they want to reach that goal, because again, you got to consider that there's 2 new brawlers added every update pretty much, so they're always going to be like, so for example, you go to February, then there'll be like 23 brawlers without a hypercharge. You go to the April update, and then there'll be like 13 brawlers without a hypercharge. So there's always going to be a lot of brawlers without a hypercharge. So I think they're going to up the amount of brawlers that are going to get one. Maybe it's even going to be higher than 12. Maybe it could be like 14, 16, probably reaching a bit too far. But you got to think the update is probably going to be at the end of February, because that's when the Brawl Pass season ends. So there's a lot of time to make these hypercharges, which I'm pretty excited about. So quickly, I'll show you guys how to get 100 pizza slices for free. So you can either go to my community tab, or I'll leave a link in the description where you can just quickly click on this link. It's not a scam, don't worry. I'm not scamming you guys. Supercell are doing this bounty event where if a certain amount of links get clicked, you get rewards through Create Elixir, and that means I can give you guys more skins and everything else on my streams. So you get 100 pizza slices like this. I'll do this on pretty much every single account. That is quite a substantial amount, so I'll be spending those today. Okay, so now moving on to the final part of the video, which is about the ranked update, which is going to be the next update, which I think not everyone actually knows this, because whenever I talk about it on stream or just briefly mention it in a video or something, people always ask me in the comments, what do you mean ranked update? Do you have insider information? No, it's literally there in the public through this roadmap, which I did months ago. So I'll play it here and talk about it briefly. So the first update of 2025 is going to be a ranked update. So what they want to do is they want to integrate esports and ranked into one, so you can probably qualify for these monthly qualifiers of the Brawl Stars championships through ranks. So whether that's going to be, you know, them adding another rank, like instead of masters they add like something above that, so then if you reach that, then you're automatically qualified for these qualifiers. Normally you have to do a championship challenge, which again, you go over to the teaser. This is the first one that's coming out on the 31st of January. So again, that makes me believe there's not going to be an update anytime soon. It just wouldn't make sense. But maybe in future, there's not going to be any championship challenges whilst you just qualify for rank. Maybe there's going to both work, but that probably wouldn't make sense. But again, it's just some ideas that I'm throwing about. So again, I'm really excited for this because a ranked update is everything that I've really wanted. They just want to make ranked more competitive, and that's probably again an aim they've been trying to make for a long time. So they can make I would probably do a video just on this, by the way. This is just me briefly going through things. And then what they want to do is maybe just some smaller improvements, like guaranteeing the rank skin when you open a certain amount of star drops, etc. You know, those are some improvements. But this also leads me on to the Time to Explain podcast. So again, this is a podcast that came out 3 months ago. It's actually quite funny. At the beginning of the podcast, I don't think I wrote this down myself, but there was actually like, I think 4 or 5 questions at the start, which were all my questions, which is hilarious. But there were a lot of thoughts that I had to just get out there because there was a lot of frustration, especially as a top end player. So basically what Danny says is they're looking for options to make it more competitive at the higher end. So they tried to kind of do this with the last update or the one before that, trying to mess with the elo distribution. So whenever you lose a game, you lose a lot more and you gain a lot less. So that should kind of fix things a little bit, but then again it doesn't, because there's just other anomalies. Just like, for example, you could as a master team up with like a silver player and then literally you lose no elo all of the time. So it's pretty annoying. And then of course, if you actually lose against that team, which you shouldn't, but I don't know, maybe there's some fake silver 1 players in there that should really be masters, you'll lose like 250 elo. So it's just crazy that it just doesn't work out. So they just need some more improvements. So they also showed a distribution graph, which again, you guys probably seen this already, but this is what I asked for. So basically It's just showing their common consensus here is that as a whole, ranked has improved, which it has. A lot more players are playing. I reckon that the popularity has gone up. Frank said about 5% in the past in Power League played. I probably think it was even less. I probably reckon it was probably like 2% of players play Power League, to be honest. And then right now in ranked, I reckon the daily active users, I probably think is around 20%. I think at rank's peak, the first 3 months, first 6 months, I reckon it was probably like 40% of people. It was probably some crazy number because my channel just exploded and there was just so many people playing ranked. It has definitely lessened and lessened because it's just got less fun, less serious. It's just a bunch of different things. So basically what they're saying is that they want to make the end goal, Masters, actually like harder, just a lot harder, so they could do a lot of different things about that. Just maybe like, for example, one of my questions was, I don't know whether I can get it on here, one of my questions was literally like maybe adding a rank above it. I think it was this question. Like, here we go. So I'll turn off subtitles and you can see I ask about adding a rank above Masters. That could be a good solution as well. So at least I'm hyped, you know, for doing something about ranked. We might have to wait until the end of February, but there's plans in the work. But again, I'll do a video just literally on this, talking about what I want to see, how I think it can be good for casuals as well, competitive players, etc. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Enough waffling for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.